Hi everybody, it's Mike Love, Pro Steel Products in Northeast Ohio. This is part two of burying a shipping container underground safely. We just got started. We're getting ready to roll this thing over like I told you. If you haven't seen part one, please go back and watch part one. You'll see where we're at on this build. The inside has been swept out and everything, and we're ready to roll it over. One thing I want to tell you is this is the cheap way to roll it over. Okay, it's a lot cheaper than renting a crane, but if you can see, I got tires lined up right on the supports on them corners where them beams are the strongest, and we're just going to lay it right over on them tires. Then we're going to do it again, and it'll be down here on the ground. Then I'll pick it up with that rollback and move it back to where I want it, and it'll be inverted. Make sure that you have your doors locked in place up in the corners. That helps the stability. It all locks together. So I am confident with all my welds inside, so I have no problem dropping it over on its side. It's probably weighing about 8,000 pounds now. I'm going to set this on the tripod so you can watch it come over, and it should be just fine by the time I get it over on its roof. That there is how to roll a container over without a crane. Worked pretty good, set it down easy. Roll back and be able to pick it up, put it where I need it to finish the build. It's inverted now, so the rest is just finishing it up. You'll see it coming up. If you have somebody that's building these and they're not inverting it, this is what's going to be over your head. If somebody's, I saw a video of somebody running a beam down the center of it and said, oh, it's only going to be buried 2 foot thick or 2 foot deep. This is still not going to hold because look, it's really flimsy and it's not going to hold up. So invert it. We're going to be putting a new floor on here with bracing. We're going to, the 4 corners of this is where the strength is before we bury it. We're going to put concrete pylons on all 4 corners, and it's going to rest right on there. Over it, we're going to weld that across. This is all going to be seamless welds. It'll be watertight. So this is going to be like a big steel submarine. But that's the hatch area, and that's the 2 beams I put in. I'm going to be running them all the way across, and I'll show you the finished product when I put the steel on top, and then we'll continue down the other way. But outside of here, I wanted to show you that we have that corner piece up on blocks. That's kind of how you're going to bury it, but you're going to have a real big piece of concrete on each 4 corners of this to keep it keep the pressure off the middle of the floor. And this is where these big beams, they hold the weight. That's how we're going to do it. So we'll get to that when we bury it. Okay, this is an important, very important aspect of why I tell you to invert it, because the floor is not sealed. This morning we had a lot of rain. I mean, a lot of rain. And I don't have which is the floor, the ceiling now, sealed up yet. I did the floor that you're going to be walking on, which is the roof. And I'm going to show you actually all that water that was up top is now coming inside because the floor is not sealed. So this is what I'm talking about when you should invert it, because if you don't and you don't seal the floor, you're going to get water percolating up from underneath. So the people that emailed me, it says you're not inverting yours, you got it well braced. This is one of the problems that you need to take care of, because the floor needs to be sealed. That's the bottom line. So let's take a look around, and I'll kind of show you. This is leakage right there.
there's a lot of water up there and it's all coming inside. Now the floor is all done. As you can see, that's all water just dripping. The floor that I put in over top of the roof is completely sealed. Okay, it's not leaking out, so you're going to have to use a wet dry vac and remove all of that water. So you can see it's pretty wet, and like I said, we had a lot of rain. Still dripping here on the corners. So we are going to take care of this when we put the plates on top, which I'm going to go up top here and show you in a minute what it actually looks like. I have the light on in here, and you can see that this is all water. Okay, everything is welded 100% bead. If I added up all the feet, it's going to be a lot of feet of weld. And here's the hatch area. I don't have all the bolts in. It's going to be sealed with a rubber seal and sealant and closed up. So right now I could put this in a pond or a lake and it will float because there's no leaks. The water's not even leaking out. It's holding water. So that means I'm sealed except for the roof. So let's go up top and I'll show you up there what's going on. Okay, I'm on the top, which is the bottom of the floor here on the top here, and I'm going to show you how much rain we've had. And all them little things are full of water, and it's seeping through because this right here down here is actually the wood floor, and they're just screwed in to these cross beams. So if you take one of them screws out, it'd be a hole. So what we're going to do is plate the whole top of this with 1/4-inch plate, and it's all going to bind it together. That bent rail, I'm going to straighten it out with a sledgehammer. That's probably why it was downgraded to a storage container. And this is actually a plate for the rails. That's pretty stout right there. But all this is going to be sealed up with a 1/4-inch plate. It's pretty easy to do because it's all straight and flat. We're going to button weld these to the rails. This is what I'm talking about. If you are not inverting it, the water is going to seep up from underneath and actually rot that wood, and in a matter of, I don't know how many years it'll take, but you're going to have a problem. That's why I seal everything. These floors need to be sealed. All these beams are going to hold everything up. I mean, this is where it's going to be. Okay, if you're not too far along in your build and you can change to invert it, put a plate on here, this is where your strength is going to be. Please do it. It'll be well worth it. We're going to cut the holes for the air pipes. The hatch is going to go over here in this corner. So yeah, we're going to get busy on it. Sorry it took so long to get this next part out. I wasn't going to put it out yet, but I'm getting a lot of emails wondering what's going on. But I'll tell you one thing, it's all about the heat. Okay, when you're building these things, it's a metal box, and when you get around noon or so, as you can see, I'm in the shade now. It's in the morning. It just got done raining. The sun is out, but once the sun starts hitting this, that's when it's going to get really hot in there. You can't work inside. But now that I'm outside, we should be good to go, as long as we can handle the walking on the steel, because the steel will get hot in the sunlight. But this is the easy part because it's kind of flat and easy to weld. It's just a lot of welding, but it's well worth it. Okay, I have the doors done. I'm going to show you that right now. Okay, here's my 1/4-inch plate that's going on the roof. These are my doors. This is a bulletproof door. It's got 1/4-inch plate with heavy beams and another plate on the inside. The storage area room door is 1/8 with the framing. I'm going to insulate that, and we're going to be mounting those up here pretty quick on a cool morning. I'm building hinges. I'm not done with them yet, but the hinges have to be very, very strong because that door right there weighs a lot. So I need about 2 or 3 people to help me put this in place so I can weld the hinges in place. After that, we're definitely gonna seal up the roof, and all these holes have to be plated for the where the forks used to go through when it was on the bottom. That's all going to be closed off, front and back. That'll be all sealed up, and we won't have a moisture problem inside, because if it rains again, all that water is just going to trickle down into the inside. So this is part 2. If you haven't watched part 1, I'll leave a link in the description, and you know, we'll get part 3 as soon as we can. We'll be digging the hole here pretty soon. I'm hoping to get it pretty soon here, as long as we can keep working on this without the heat. Hopefully in a couple weeks I want to try and get this in the ground, so you'll see it happening, how we're going to put it in the ground and everything. So stay tuned. Part 3 is coming, I promise. Thanks for watching.